Ryan, top seed in the East. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, I didn't do anything. They did it despite of all of us coaches. So no, I think. Listen, I told the guys it's a special group. Obviously, they've been playing playoff hockey since probably mid-December when we lost those guys to the World Junior A Challenge, and we had to grind some things out, and I think they've come together really well. So every game's been important to them. They've treated it as such, and we've matured as we've went here, and the locker room's a special place there with those guys and our leadership, and every single guy that's here, they played a role and they've done it well, and obviously they should be really proud.
Ryan, middle of January, you guys were a minus 12 goal in the second period. Here, end of the season, I think you're now a plus 11. Any specific reason for that kind of turnaround?
I think they just learned how to play. I think that was more circumstantial than anything. Probably some penalties, and we figured out how to change properly. But I think it's just we've been playing better hockey, right? So I think we've lost 3 games since February, and you know they matured as a group, and that's what happens. You want to see your guys develop and take steps, and you see guys like Ryan Rosinsky take massive steps, and all those guys. I mean, we have a whole locker room of guys that are capable. So I think they just bought in. They learned how to play, and kudos to them. They've done an unbelievable job.
You finished with the best power play percentage wise in team history this season. What do you think the special teams meant to this team, not only tonight, but all season long?
Brandon Gawkin does an unbelievable job at the power play. I can't tell you that my fingerprints are on any of it. So Gooder does a great job every day preparing the guys, and he works tirelessly at it. And we have really good players too. So obviously we've done a lot this year from a win standpoint. Setting different franchise marks, and so it helps when you have good players going over the boards. But I think Brandon's done a great job in Flash. Scott Gordon, obviously the PK's gotten substantially better here down the stretch, and I think there's a time you go through little ebbs and flows, but we feel really confident about where we are, and in the playoffs, special teams matter so much. So I feel confident about where we're at going in there, and we're just going to have to keep working to get better.
Ryan, you had the highest scoring blue line in the USHL this season. Then not only that, you have the great individual mark that Luke Osborne was able to set for career goals by a Phantoms defenseman. What about your blue line this year made it so special? And then it really seemed like the team was just so happy for Luke.
Yeah, I think the one thing like that we have here, when talking about being happy for each other, is part of what we do. Like our culture is being genuinely happy for each other, like not being worried about individual things, and that's just the type of people they are. They care about each other so much, and obviously Scott Gordon runs our D, and the guy's coached in the NHL for 30 years. Like he's pro hockey for 30 years. Like he's done a great job with those guys, and obviously the little details and nuances in their game. He's probably been a huge part of that, and I think the personnel are great. Like having a guy like Ozzy, Hanny. I mean, all those guys are unbelievable defensemen, and they play a whole 200-foot game. So it doesn't surprise me. I didn't know that stat, but as a unit, they take a lot of pride in how they play back there. We always call them the foundation of the house, and you can't put the shingles on until you get the foundation right.
Well, Ryan, speaking of the house, the netminders really the last 6 or 8 weeks of the season really came on. I'm going to let you put some shine on your goaltending too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you have to have good goaltending to win. Owen has really done a great job the last couple months. He's finding himself, finding his identity as a kid and a goalie. Melvin, he's an NHL draft pick. He's done this for a while. He's been good, and I still think they're going to get better. And I think when you have guys back there that are capable, it gives confidence to the rest of the group. So they've done a great job.
You guys needed 2 wins to lock down that one seed. You had scoring 13-4 across the weekend. Just speak about that sense of urgency to lock it down.
Yeah, we actually started really slow last night, like bad. But the thing about this group is they don't panic. They're very steady on the rudder, and I think even last night we got down 2-0 early, and they that just shows the leadership we have on the bench. Like it's not me talking, it's them. And I think you look at Ozzy, you look at Handy, you look at Connor, you look at the guys back there and on the bench, and even the guys that don't wear letters. Like it's like, hey, we're good, and I think to me as a coach, like we're at the point in the season where like what I say doesn't matter. You know, they hold each other accountable. My job is to prepare them, and they play the game. And I think that's the best part when you have the locker room that we have and the leadership that we have. Um, you know, I think it comes easy, and I think they knew the stakes. They've known the stakes for the last month, and you know, for them to understand it and not take it for granted, like that's a pretty special thing.
Ryan, the road to the Clark Cup final comes through Youngstown. How big is that?
Well, I can tell you that even like hearing the fans tonight cheering "Thank you, Phantoms," and obviously we love playing here. I mean, our record I think speaks for itself at home, and we're gonna have to win some big home games. We're gonna go through ups and downs, and playoffs. You know, you just have to have a short memory, and I think the fact that we get to have home ice until the final at least. It is a huge advantage for us, and we certainly, you know, I can't say enough about our fans and the loyal Youngstown fan. Like this place is the graveyard, and I think it's so awesome. Like to just see the support and the passion. You know, the fact that we get to play here instead of having to go on the road at the beginning. Like our guys cherish that, and we're gonna make everyone proud.
Ryan, congratulations. We'll see you next weekend.
Thank you.